The goal for what they wanted to create was relatively simple, and it was to create a comic book universe that looks much like the world outside of your window. And many of you that are listening to this might be thinking that I'm talking about the Ultimate Universe, which celebrates its 20th anniversary this very month. But you'd be wrong. I'm talking about something completely different. And if you are interested in learning more, stay tuned for the video. Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, we are going to take it all the way back to the 1980s, and we're going to talk about something very ambitious that Marvel attempted to do that I think still has some ramifications to today. We saw it play out with the Ultimate Universe, and there are also some current publishers that might be taking their cues from what it is that Marvel did back in the day. The year is 1986, and the editors at Marvel set out to do something really ambitious. They wanted to scrap the entire Marvel universe and build it up from scratch, from the ground level. The major differences between the old and the new would be two major things. First, the new universe would be designed to be a shared universe from the very start, unlike the old Marvel universe. If you think about it, the idea of a shared universe in which Thor, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, and the Avengers existed together didn't come along until years after some of these characters were introduced. But in this new iteration, everything would be connected and related from the very start. The second thing that Marvel wanted to do was to ground characters in reality. They wanted to scale back the scope of the stories and the characters and to make them more realistic, eliminating things like gods and magic and super technology. These new stories would also take place in real time. A month in the real world would equal 1 month in the comic book world. If you haven't figured it out yet, what I'm talking about is the new universe. This is the brainchild of editor-in-chief Jim Shooter. Shooter proposed this idea during a Marvel leadership meeting that was called to discuss the ways that they might capitalize on the upcoming 25th anniversary. Thankfully or unthankfully, Shooter's idea of scrapping the entire Marvel universe was actually shot down. Instead, the idea was scaled back and the new universe imprint was born to supplement the traditional Marvel universe. Think of an imprint as an incubator for new ideas. And in this incubator, a publisher can try out different ideas and stories and techniques without having those stories have any impact on anything that is happening in their main universe. Both Marvel and DC have used this approach repeatedly over the years. The premise behind the new universe imprint was pretty straightforward. Prior to July 22nd, 1986, the new universe was just like the real world. But an astronomical event on that day literally changed everything. For a few moments, the world was bathed in a blinding white light that caused genetic abnormalities to occur in 2 out of every 1 million humans on the planet. The long and short is that these people developed superpowers of some sort. In 1986, that would have meant that the United States suddenly had roughly 500 superpowered individuals. They could be your friends or your family or even the mailman for that matter, because no one was exempt from getting these powers based upon the white event. Jim Shooter and the editors at Marvel had grand plans for the new universe. They wanted to hire top-tier creators to work on the books, but hit some roadblocks when Marvel's parent company at the time decided that they wanted to sell the company. In an effort to reduce costs and boost profits, the new universe operated on a shoestring budget and was staffed by editors and creators who were new to the industry and or were otherwise unable to get work anywhere else. So I have to mention here that it was during this time that Mr. Mark Bagley was actually given a shot at doing some professional work for Marvel. He worked on one of the new universe titles. And if you stay tuned until the end of the video, I'll actually show you the book that he worked on. By the end of the first year, 4 of the original 8 new universe titles had been canceled. The remaining 4 were on the brink of cancellation, and Jim Shooter had resigned as editor-in-chief because of internal politics. In an effort to save the new universe, the new editor-in-chief Tom DeFalco and others, including John Byrne, attempt to revamp and revise the new universe. In the end, it was all for naught, as the imprint was discontinued in 1989 after a total of 170 comics had been published. So I hope you enjoyed the first part of this video. In this second part, I actually want to show you some books from those original 8 titles from the new universe. And unfortunately, I was not able to find all 8. I was able to find 5 of the 8 in my collection, and I'm actually going to show them now. And I'm kicking myself a little bit because one of the titles, DP7, which is by far my favorite, I was unable to locate, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that I will be able to find those in the collection at some point. But the very first one that I want to show you from the new universe is Star Brand issue number 1. And this is the title that John Byrne actually came in and tried to rework and save. And this is one of those books. And here is issue number 2. And I'm probably going to show you the first 5 from Star Brand. Just some cool covers. Here's issue number 3. I think that's him ripping the wing off of a plane right there. Here's issue number 4. Someone is hitting him with a very large log, which he is breaking. And then here is issue number 5. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but definitely a cool cover. And these books are pretty easy to spot when you look for them in a bin, because the border that you see on the books is pretty consistent, at least through the first generation of what they did with the new universe. As I alluded to earlier in this video, this next book, I was only able to find this one copy because it was given to me by a subscriber recently. And this is the book where Mark Bagley actually did the interior artwork. This is Night Mask issue number 9. So shout out to my man Doug for hooking me up with this one. I was unable to find this one in the collection, but again, it's one of those ones that I remain hopeful I'll be able to find elsewhere. Psi-Force is up next. This is issue number 1 right here. And then I also pulled the annual issue number 1. So 2 copies, if you will, of issue number 1 for Psi-Force. I started reading this one. I did not enjoy this one. This one was a little bit of a struggle. Again, unlike DP7, which I enjoyed. I think I read through issue 7. I read those digitally. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. That was a good one. Psi-Force, not so much. Another one that I struggled with is this one, Mark Hazard Merc. Issue number 1 right there. Struggled a little bit with this one. I thought that it was going to go one direction when I started to read it, and it took a hard turn. But I haven't given up on this one. I am going to try to read this one again. So that was issue number 1. Here is issue number 2. And then the last one that I pulled that I'll show you is issue number 12. And part of the reason why I wanted to show this one is that it's actually supposedly a scarce last issue. So I wanted to kind of pull that one. And I have a healthy stack of this next one. We're not going to look at all these, but we will look at a couple. This is issue number 1 of Justice. And again, this is part of that original 8 titles from New Universe. Here is issue number 2. And here is issue 3. I wanted to kind of show this one because, as you guys know, I do like those pink covers. And you really oftentimes only see those with DC Comics. But Marvel was doing something a little bit different with this one. So that was issue number 3. And then I'll show you the last one that I pulled. This Justice, I want to say, went on for a little while. But here's the last one that I pulled, issue number 10. So there you go. And I'm still hopeful that I'll be able to find, I have my list here, DP7, which I enjoyed, Kickers, which was about like a football team, and a guy allowed his brother to do some experiments on him to enhance his energy, strength, endurance, all that kind of stuff. So that was Kickers. And I think I read like 3 issues of that. And then the last one, which I have not seen in my collection, nor have I read, was Spitfire and the Troubleshooters. I think I have that right. I have not seen that one, but I am now somewhat intrigued because of that title. So there you go. I hope that you guys enjoyed this look back at New Universe, this imprint of Marvel's. I enjoyed doing the research on this. I enjoyed the 2 days of hunting in the storage, trying to find some of these books. And again, I remain hopeful that I'll find more of them. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch it. If you did enjoy this video, I want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment behind so we can mix it up in the comment section. Maybe you even have a favorite out of these New Universe titles. And if so, I'd definitely be interested in hearing more. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so in one of 2 ways: on Instagram at Regie Collects, or you can send me an email to Regie@RegieCollects.com. Take care.